church before we sing a hymn as the next team comes. Avin Sesanga's card has been lost and found. Also this phone, it has been lost and found. I'll be there. You can find me with it there. I think to prove it's yours, you'll have to put in the right password maybe. Okay. Let us sing Pass Me Not to the Gentle Savior.
Pass me not a gentle Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Let me at thy throne of mercy find a sweet relief, kneeling there in deep contrition. Help my unbelief. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Trusting only in thy merit, would I seek thy face. Heal my broken spirit, save me by thy grace. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Thou, the spring of all my comfort, more than life to me. Whom have I on earth beside thee? Whom in heaven but thee? Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Thank you.
'75, the wonder of it all.
There's a wonder of sunset at evening, the wondrous sunrise I see, but the wonder of wonders that thrills my soul is the wonder that God loves me. Oh, the wonder of it all, the wonder of it all, just to think that God loves me. Oh, the wonder of it all, the wonder of it all, just to think that God loves me. There's a wonder of springtime and harvest, the sun, the sun, but the wonder of wonders that thrills my soul is the wonder that's only begun. Oh, the wonder of it all, the wonder of it all, just to think that God loves me. Oh, the wonder of it all, the wonder of it all, just to think that God loves me. Thank you very much, Noah. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to yet another session of Camp Meeting 2022. May God's name be praised for keeping us safe and enabling us to be here this afternoon. Amen. The session, we have about an hour for this session, in which we are going to tackle business, entrepreneurship, investments, stewardship, and I have a panel of 4 ladies. Remember, this camp meeting has been headed by ladies, right? So we have 4 ladies here who have been kind enough to come and share their experiences with us. They have been in business variously, as we will hear, and they want to share our experiences with us so we can learn from them. But they are business women. I'm sure they'll use the opportunity to talk about their businesses so you can buy from them or sell on their behalf. I want to thank God for you. I want to thank God for you, Jemima, Stella, Beryl, and Irene. They'll speak a bit more about themselves. But I want to thank God for you. And to say that even in the Bible, we have quite a number of prominent business women in the Bible. I think Lydia was a businessman, Priscilla, a businesswoman, Priscilla, who else? Deborah, a prophetess, a leader, and therefore an enterprising person, and others. So I'll ask us to take a moment to humble ourselves as we pray before we start this session. Let us pray. Father in heaven, I want to thank you very much yet once again for this opportunity that you've given us to share with one another. We want to thank you for everybody who is congregated here today in this building and on this campus. We ask, Father, that as we are in your presence, that we may hear and learn from you. And at this time, as we talk about money and investments and entrepreneurship, that Father, you may come and prevail over the panel, over the audience, that your name may be praised and glorified, and that we may be blessed. Is a humble prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So we're going to hear from you. I know I mentioned your name, but I'd like you to take a moment to talk about yourself and talk about your business particularly. We know about many of you, but we don't know about your businesses, so please tell us about yourself. And we'll just take it across like that, starting with you, Irene.
Thank you, Uncle Sam. Good afternoon, members. I am glad to see all of you, and I pray that you'll be blessed by the end of the session. I am happy to be here with these ladies. Each of the ladies here, I share an attachment with them. And I'll start with Jemima. Jemima is the lady who first took me for Holy Communion. I am very sure she does not remember, but she did it. She held my hand and told me, Irene, let me take you for Holy Communion. Stella, I admire her love for Christ. Burial mentioned something to me that I still remember, and it was kind of a prophecy. She said, Irene, I pray that one day your craft pays for you. Thank you, Burial. People, we should always listen to what people tell us. And whenever you're throwing a comment to someone, know that it will have an impact in their lives. So choose to be positive than negative. My name is Irene Mugabe Nalongo. I'm CEO Mother's Love Crafts. I started Mother's Love in 2010 when I quit my job after 10 years of working. At that time, I had 2 children. They were all young. So I was looking at them, and I could not juggle 2 things, work and kids. My children were young, and I was working in distribution. Such a tight schedule. With distribution, you have targets, you have work. So every day, I would go back with a laptop or my head spinning around to hit the target. So with my husband, we chose that I stay home, but it was more of me. I chose to stay home and look after the children. That is when I thought of Mother's Love Daycare. Because of the children I had, I thought I would look after them at home and also teach them, and also taught other children in the community. I ran the Mother's Love Daycare for 10 years up until COVID. So after COVID, things changed a bit. But Mother's Love was not only nursery and daycare. Mother's Love has crafts. We do baking, and we do customize different items. Someone would ask, but Irene, those are too many things. Why do you do all that? One, I am a mother who has the katale in my home. So everything I produce is taken up first by the people in my home. We wear them, we use them, so we have the market around us. And that is why today we came here to let you know that whatever thing that you have in mind, whatever your passion thinks about, go for it, because the market is around you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Irene. Irene mentioned that she's a Nalongo, so in her case, the market is actually more, because she has a bigger market than the ordinary woman. Burial, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very glad to be in front here, seated with the senior women in business. I'm very privileged to be here this afternoon, seated in front of you. My name is Beryl Mora Sevume. I'm an accountant by profession, and I'm the CEO of Samara Bedding and Interiors. Samara Bedding and Interiors is something beautiful that came out of excessive love for window shopping. When I was expecting my firstborn daughter, who is called Samara, in 2012, I remember I went downtown to look for beddings for her. And when I went there, I realized it was either that very cheap quality or very expensive bedding that you could only find on Kampala Road, and by that time it was maybe B+ that had them. And I realized there was a gap that we felt we could fill. And that is how we started our small business. And by then, we were in full employment. I was working as an accountant, and my partner was working as a banker. And we started this business where we could park our things in the car and move around with them. So you're in office working and having it as a side hustle. We pushed it like that for quite a number of years until the time that the business grew and it was sustainable enough for both of us to leave employment and run the business fully. We are a company that deals in home textile and hotel textiles. We deal in high quality beddings, we deal in curtains, we deal in carpets, and all home soft furnishings. We are located on Luwom Street, Ego Plaza. At the moment, we have 4 shops. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you, Beryl, and thank you for sharing your experience so far.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy and blessed to sit before you. This time we are seated. My name is Mpola Stella Njuguna, a member of Kampala Central Church. I have a beautiful testimony of what I do. When I was growing up, I thought business was for fat men and big women. That is when I was growing up. And I never had any thought of doing business. But at one particular time, when the going got tough, I saw myself in there. I started with a capital of 170,000, and I'll share what the results of that 170,000, what it did, and the reason as why I got into it is because of my love for God. When I had finished school, I got into employment, but it was not easy because of the Sabbath. And I had to lose that job and then got into business. I'll share more when my time comes.
So, Stella, what do you sell?
Sorry?
This is your opportunity to tell us what you sell. You may not have another one. What do you sell?
Thank you very much. I deal with stationery and printing work. And we also educate people about graphics and other things as you hear. So stay tuned.
Good afternoon, everyone here. When we were coming here, Elder told us, you're going to meet your customers. So good afternoon, potential customers. I hope we are all blessed to
Jemima,
be here.
you're a very sharp student. A+.
Amen. So, yes, we are here, women of valor. We are not only Christian women, but we are women in business. And as you see us here, one of them is a woman entrepreneur who won the Women Entrepreneur 2019. And here I am. I've started from behind. This is how we do the CVs this time. Why did I win the Women Entrepreneur 2019? That was November, and we see 2020, COVID coming, and there is no any other woman entrepreneur. I am still holding the Women Entrepreneur from 2019 to 20. So please, your women entrepreneur is here, happens to be a Seventh-day Adventist. All ladies, young women, come to me. We have the opportunity to share what it takes to be a woman in business. How did this woman come to be a woman entrepreneur? Right from school, I wanted to be an air hostess. In school, in primary, that was the word, the term we used to know as little children. When you see a plane and you say, ha, I want to go in that plane. So it kept me. And I said, one day will be one. So after my senior 6, remember I started from behind. And this is how I'm going to tell you how I met my husband, who is an elder in this church. I'm not following the protocol. Senior 6, I started my A-level, happened to have studied with my husband, who is elder Walugembe, in the same class. So I think he saw this bright child, this young girl, who actually wants to be an air hostess. So from senior 6, we were just friends. Please, young children, don't think things started that way. So I had relatives who channeled me to work in the airline. I had my aunt who works with Brussels Airline, and he actually supported me, my dreams. So immediately from senior 6, I did not join the university immediately. I joined what we used to call then an air ticketing school, which happens to be Airways, Tours and Travels Training School. We did not have it then in Uganda. That was, we were studying from Nairobi. It was a bit costly, but I was assisted. That's what we call career guidance. I was guided to do that course because my aunt, being in the airline, she knew what it takes. So I studied tourism, air ticketing, and then when I was still in school, because our course was where the pioneers, we happened to have gotten jobs even before we finished our course. So when I finished, I joined a tour and travel company. It's a travel company. That was my first employment, immediately after school. I think young ones were saying that I was guided, I followed my career right from when I was young. And here, after my studies, I joined what I studied. So I joined a tour and travel company. When you're in a tour and travel company, you handle all airlines. That's why you see on my desk I have Rwanda Air, not Uganda Airlines, because we handle all airlines. I could not bring them here. So those who are coming for career guidance, you come to my office, I will give you all the airlines that you need. So I joined a tour and travel company. And when you're in it, they look out for workers in a tour and travel company because you train on variety of airlines and you do a lot. You do marketing, you do reservations, you do ticketing, and you do what we call customer care. So when you're working in a tour and travel company, airlines come of course, after knowing how much you work, and there they offer you opportunity. So that's what happened to me. I was given an opportunity from a travel company to an airline. So I worked in an airline. I worked as reservation, ticketing, and all that. I worked at the airport. I was once an operations manager of one of the airlines called United Airlines. So I've handled the airports, I've handled the offices, and I have handled the tour and travel. So time came, and when I was in one of the airlines, that is when now my friend who went to the university was like, I think there was someone I knew in school. So that is when I married Mr. Olugembe in the year 2000. So after that, I kept in my career. And one of the airlines that I was working for, let's mark this, you know, the dynamics of the airlines is when they stop the operation, they don't alert you. You're in the office, and before you know it, they say, wind up. This airline has stopped its operation in Uganda. And this is what that airline by then was called Gulf Air. It is from the Gulf region. So when Gulf Air closed, I told my husband, I don't think I'm going back. I've worked in a tour company. I've worked in an airline, and I changed several airlines. So time has come. The moment this airline I'm starting my business. But he was like, how are you starting? You did not know that the airline will close. You have not prepared yourself to start a business. I just told him, you know what? I'm stopping. He was working with the government then, and now that is when I started my journey as a CEO. That's how I started my business. From nowhere, I did not have capital. I was earning a salary, but I was like, the little that you have, I am going to start a business.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jamie. You have an exciting and interesting and long story. I am tempted to think that if I don't ask you to hold it out there, we might go on until the birds come home. Now, I'm looking at somebody in the audience here who is currently employed or currently unemployed, but wants to be a businesswoman, wants to be a businessman, wants to start a business. And you've all touched elements of the same dilemma that people want to start business go through. In your case, Jamie, you were fortunate that you ran out of a job. So you didn't have many options. You could have looked for a job, but you decided to start business. In your case, Stella, there were issues with Sabbath. The employment environment was not very, very welcoming, so you decided to become an entrepreneur. In your case, Beryl, you were strategic. You said, let me have my side hustle. Let me start it. Let me get the regular and stable revenue. And then it was stable, you left. Irene, you had pivoted in life also. You had recently married an entrepreneur. You didn't tell us that. But you chose to also pivot. It's interesting, many of you, actually all of you, had what I would call regular jobs. I would like to tap into your experiences, your thought processes as you pivoted from work. Even though the rationale is very clear, I have children I need to look after, but you also need money. I have my business is stabilizing, but businesses fall. So there are fears that you experience even as you wanting to start out. Same thing with Stella. You could have said, well, maybe things will get resolved at my workplace. Let me hang around. There's some income that I'm getting. You could have looked for a job in BA, British Airways, or some other airline. You had decent experience to pivot to another job and probably get steady income. I would like to tap into the decision the thought process that crystallized you into actually starting to be a businesswoman?
Thank you, Uncle Sam. Members, I'll be very, very clear with you. A decision to leave your job is not an easy one. It is very painful. I remember I drafted my letter to HR for terminating, for ending my job.
It's a long time ago, you can't remember.
Yeah. You see, you also do not know. It's retirement, resignation letter. Yeah, I wrote my resignation letter and I kept it on my desktop for a year because it is something that I would think about. You know, do you know a job that gives you all opportunities, medical, name it? And I was very happy and where I was. But of course, after thinking through it, and there is also a point in life that you have to stop and get on to another level. It wasn't a bad job at all, but when you look at people in employment, there'll be a point you will have to exit that job. And we had a motivational speaker who visited and spoke to us and told us, when you're in senior 6, most of your colleagues may not make it to campus, and they'll start a shop, probably a small shop at home. Then you join campus, after 3 years you enter employment. They've been running their shop for the last 3 years, and you work for 10 years. Of course, they are building their capital, and the shop is becoming bigger and better. So the point you choose to retire from your job, you will start a shop and start from where your colleague in senior 6 started. I am not saying that you should do that, but there's that point when you start from where the other person started. So when that dropped in my mind, it was kind of easy for me to make a decision to exit.
Thank you very much, Nalongo. We need to be careful about motivational speakers. In fact, when Stella said she started with 170,000, it reminded me of the motivational speaker who said they currently had about maybe 20,000 birds, and they said they started with a feather. Not quite, but something like that. But let's be careful about motivational speakers. The good thing with the panel that we have here, they are telling us real life experiences. And they are Seventh-day Adventist ladies who are telling us the truth. Okay? Not a feather coming up with 20,000 birds. Beryl, please.
Those who know me, my friends around me, know that I like talking about money, and a lot of money, even when I don't have it. So one of my motivation was to earn more money. That is why I started my side hustle when I was still employed. And my second reason why I wanted to opt out of employment was I was looking forward to getting freedom. Time, I wanted to know, when you're like, there's this thing people always say, when I'm self-employed, I'm my own boss, I have my own time. Yes, it was one of the reasons, but only to realize once I was out there that it was worse than employment, that I would have even it was better for me to stay in employment. And the third reason why I left is because where the company I was working for didn't have formalities. You know, where your boss calls you in the morning, sends you there, tells you come back here, leave that office, come back here. And I just felt I deserve better. And for that reason, I was like, I have to work hard and get out of this place.
Thank you very much, Beryl. I would like to think that where you are a boss now, you don't wake up one morning and tell your employees, go there, go here. Okay, please, Stella, tell us, how did that thought process work out in your mind to say, let me pivot from my current situation to the situation of starting out in a business?
Thank you very much. Like I said, I lost the job, and then when I went home, I sat down and I'm like, now what next? What motivated me is that I knew that this would not stop. So I decided to do something. I'm like, I need to do something which, like I said, I never knew I would end up in business. First of all, the nature of my body, I was a very small girl, very tiny. So I knew business people should be big. Like when you look at them, yeah, they are business people. Now, I had a sister who works where I am now, Nasa Road, and she's my friend. She was older than me, so I decided, I think God inspired me to go to her, speak to her. Then I went down and talked to her. I told her I've lost the job, but I don't want to stay at home. So she's like, of course, she gave me some little lecture, which I had to stop immediately because she was an Adventist as much as she worked on Sabbath. I told her I've not come for that, but I've come to learn. You're not going to pay me, but I'm going to work for you. So I started working for her. I would leave at home very early in the morning. By 7, I'm at her place of work. Because she's my friend, she taught me well and with a kind heart. That motivated me because I knew such challenges would not stop because I was still young and I was just beginning life. And another thing, I love being happy, Elder. In my you know it?
Yes, I know that.
So in my childhood, even when I had a penny, I would reach out to someone and it would make my heart feel good. So I knew for me to continue with this, do what? I had to have something. And how would I get it? I had to earn it. So that also motivated me to work or to get into business. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Stella, for sharing that experience. Jamie, you could have said no. Let me go to Lufthansa, or let me go to Air France, or let me pick on a carrier where there is stability. But you said, well, Enoch, I am going into business. How did that pan out in your mind? Because many people have that sort of challenge in their mind, how to pivot from their current situation into being an entrepreneur. You know, we have stability where we are. For us, by the way, members, I am not in this league. For me, my income comes in monthly, from not being an entrepreneur. So tell us, Jamie.
Thank you very much, Elder. So the way I stopped, I decided, ladies, when ladies said something, we first think. And when a woman, a female, is in that business.
So just to mention that men also think. Yes.
You know, when you are employed, like my colleagues have mentioned, what you see, you are there because you have to earn a living.
Yeah.
And if you are a really focused person, you always look out forward to find something for yourself, unless if you are not this nature that lies back. But if you have the entrepreneur spirit, you'll always want to look forward to have something, to start something on your own. So when the airline that I was working with stopped, I was like, I'm not going back. When I was employed, I used to see people traveling, including you, Elder. I used to see my relatives traveling. I see my church mates traveling. I see my OBs and LGs. I'm like, but if I start something, a tour company, a travel company on my own, and I go to these people, I've gone with them to school, can they really support me? I'm like, yes. I know one of them is Elder Bazara, because when I went to ADRA, Elder Bazara, I found here at Bugema University. I went to Bugema University. He's one of the people who said, yes, we will support you. So I met my OGs and OGs. They said, yes, we will support you. So I felt like, yes, I think I am doing, of course, with prayer, all is possible. So Don't give up when it has come. When that thought has crossed you, always try to move and achieve it. I know it's not easy, but you can always do it.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. You basically sat down carefully, went through a thought process, made your projections, you saw the possibilities were clear, and you say, I'm a courageous woman, let me go for it. So courage is a big deal here, determination is a big deal, and careful thinking and prayer. So in your case, the choice of business was somehow related to your background. You had been in ticketing, you had been in travel, those are linked with tourism, so you decided to stay in that general area. Stella had a sister who was working in NASA, is it NASA? So the kind of mentorship that you received was in that area, and you have since stayed in the area. Beryl didn't tell us where she was working, what she was doing. I don't think it had anything to do with beddings or curtains or anything like that, but that's what she's doing currently. Nalongo, Beryl told us she was an accountant, but in what? She was selling oil, not cooking oil, but lubricating oil. So she pivoted from there to selling beddings. Irene was working in a telecom company, is that correct? As what? So she was into marketing, sort of, and distribution. And now she's doing crafts. She was doing a daycare for many years. The kind of thought process that I'm thinking about for myself, for people out there, how do you choose which business to go for? There are people who are doctors like myself, are doing chicken. How do you advise somebody in terms of selecting the business that they choose and go for? We've seen passion, we've seen opportunity. Tell us about how you choose what business to go for. And any of you can start. Yeah. Jamie, do you want to start? Yeah.
What to go for? I would really advise that go where your heart is. Do something where you have a passion. Do something that you love. And start something that you know you're going to have. Where you are yourself is going to be involved. Don't think of starting a business where you're going to delegate. You cannot invest where you don't perform. There's a saying, don't invest where you don't, where you're not present. There's a term there. When you are thinking of a business, don't plan for someone else to do that business for you. Start a business where you're going to run. If you start and you think you're going to delegate, that one is gone. Or if you think you're going to start a business and tomorrow you're going to start another one, and then the other day you went to another, that's what we call consistency. Be consistent in what you're going to do. Now, for my case, I started with a travel company, eventually grew into a car hire company, same business. Then eventually, organically, we grew into a safari company. And then we have also a sector where we do holiday, and also we do insurance. Same line of business, but we just diversify, just in case if something happens, like we had the lockdown, we know that all the airlines were grounded. No one was flying. But we had that sector under the business, which is vehicle hire. that we survived because we are transporting essential workers. So the rest of the business was down, but we are only surviving on vehicle hire. Why? It's because we are involved. Even when it is 14 years back, I am still in the same line of business. Start what you love, do what you think you're going to stay in, and be consistent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Clearly, there is a focus in what you're talking about. You started out with focus from primary. What you haven't told us is your experience as an air hostess. That never featured anywhere. But we would like to hear about it. I think you're mostly a traveler more than an air hostess ever. But anyway, we'll hear from you. Stella, how do I choose what business to go for? I may have some experience in life. I may not even have an experience. These days, people are coming out of university and there are no jobs. They've started business. There's no job in business. Started forestry. Government no longer hires foresters. In your case, how did you choose the business? Was it opportunity? Was it passion? Please tell us.
I think I'll say it was both opportunity and passion. I always loved seeing, in case someone is doing work, because I would observe. There's an aunt I had, and she was doing some small businesses. So all the time I would see money coming in. It was not a lot, so I think it is a good feeling because business is about earning. Yeah, so I loved this business because I would see, when I went to learn, I would see that there's something tangible when you're doing business. And it is good always to have, to avoid dead-end businesses, yeah? You see something that is in one place, it doesn't move, then that is discouraging, yeah? Even today, as we talk about the economy, if you're going to sit there and just say that, the economy is bad, the two past years, we saw that businesses were down. And the business I deal with, basically, our clients are schools and offices. And people were not busy. People were doing work online. So I sat down and I'm like, what would people want to do, or what would they get from me now that schools are closed and I did not know even when they're going to be opened? Many officers were working from home. So I came up with this book. It has something, some good knowledge. It is thinking beyond the box, or you can say thinking out of the box, sorry. I sat and I'm like, what do the society need right now? I realized that now technology is moving very fast. And so I decided to look out for the printers. First, I had to study about the printers, the machines themselves, where to get them at that particular time. It was a hard time, how to go about it. And when I got the knowledge, I started, and truthfully, I was busy during COVID time. Oh, wow. While I was at home, even without moving with a car, I would get orders. So when you need to see that you have, my passion is like wanting to see something. If I'm doing something, I want to see it moving.
Okay, thanks very much, Stella. You're not letting opportunities pass you by. You embrace them as they come and make good use of them. Okay, Beryl. How do you choose to go? I know you mentioned it, you love Mulembe. To put it in local language, you love nice things. But how did you choose, of all the nice things that there are, how did you choose to go into beddings, into chairbacks, and all that kind of thing? And not watches or men's socks or shirts or whatever.
Okay, when I was starting this business, I'd never dreamt of getting into textile business because it's something I'd never had passion for, or it's something that I'd never, dreamt of. But for me, I saw an opportunity. I saw a gap in the market, and the demand was high. And I thought if I could bring these things and sell at a cheaper price and provide good quality, I think I could get clients. And that is how I entered into textile business. Now, my sister Jemima has mentioned that you need to have passion for something from the word go. I agree with her, but at the same time, passion can find you actually, as Elda has mentioned, because at the moment, I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. But at the beginning, I was just doing it because I saw I could make money. Now, when I go to shop for textile, I buy it as if I'm buying it for myself. The color, the feel. I'm ever on Pinterest to see what is on Vogue. So I've developed love for what I do. So I think as much as we want to follow our passion, because sometimes what we want to do is overly populated maybe around the areas that we're in, and you're thinking, oh my God, I love cooking, and you get out and the next 10 stalls have people cooking, and you want to join them, while there's an opportunity to bring maybe fish. If you see most people are cooking fish there, you can bring fish and sell fish. Not because you love selling fish, you love cooking, but the opportunity that is availed at that time is selling fish. So I would say that it's good to look for opportunities and gaps within our environment.
Okay, thank you very much. In your case, the heart followed the brain. In the case of Stella, there was a combo. The heart and the brain worked together. In the case of Jamie, I would actually argue and say that there was plenty of passion well ahead of time. As a little young girl, when she saw aeroplanes passing by, passion developed there. But over the time, they worked together with her brain to make sure that she implements and executes an excellent business. Nalongo.
In my case, it was opportunity first.
Yeah.
I was moving out of employment, then...
And you had a big house. Remember to say that.
There were just two. There were just two, but they were a handful. I couldn't maintain a house help.
Yeah.
So daycare set in. And when parents come for daycare, at 3 years, they're asking, where should we take our children? So I decided to put nursery as well. But during my time for nursery, I realized that my love for scissor, salt tape, cutting was too much. I could decorate other classes, and if I was the teacher teaching the class, it would be purely practical, no theory. So when COVID set in, of course, with my practical background, I started doing DIYs, work for children at home. I made magnetic boards.
So DIYs are?
Do it yourself.
Okay.
Teach yourself for the children. I came up with metal sheets and magnetic letters, sent them out to parents for the children to continue learning practically as they enjoy the play. So during the 2 years, really, I started seeing the craft overriding the school. And that is how opportunity fired up the passion. I started with school, then the passion for crafts, for cutting, putting pieces together, set in, and I got stuck there.
Thank you very much. So I have several more questions. I'm sure there are questions from the audience, but I'll ask just two. The first one, you need money to start business. The second one, you need people to sell to. How do you address those challenges? You have identified a good business. How do you find money to start it? You have identified a good business. How do you sell that business to people? Jamie, you mentioned church members, networks that you had. Uncle John Wazara here and others. Please tell us, because once somebody has identified a business, it's not good enough to identify an excellent business. They need to find money for it, to get it going, but they also need to find a market to sell what they are generating, whether it is a product or a service. Anybody can go first. Beryl, you can go.
Okay. About financing the business, I would say that I was lucky. When I dreamt of starting this business, it was a very small business. It was a briefcase shop, if I would say. And I went and told my husband. At that time, he was earning much more money than me, and he would access financing. And I told him I have this
A big
idea.
amen to husbands.
Yes, and I would say I really owe this to my husband because he supported me when even the idea was really, it didn't look like something that made sense, but he was there, he stood by me, he supported me, and somehow he financed the business.
Okay, so the finance came largely from your husband.
Yes, but it wasn't much, it was just enough.
I'm not asking about much. Because now once you start qualifying it...
I'm not washing it away. No, what I'm saying is I didn't get this very huge financing that now go start, Yeah. It was just something to kickstart the business.
Okay, so you don't need a lot of finance
to
get the idea off the ground.
No.
If you have an excellent idea, execute it. Just to mention that I am a friend to her husband, and I may have contributed also, even though I have not been mentioned. Okay, go on, please.
Maybe, yes. And something I would say here, and encourage men who are here, most especially. Men dream so big. When you tell a man that I want to start a business with 300,000 or 500,000, the man will look at you and be like, but for me as a woman, I've thought how I'm going to multiply that money. So for men who are here, if your wife asks you for support, whatever it is, give it to them because you will see the fruits within a short time. Because we believe in starting small, and men who believe in starting big, which may actually be impossible.
So let us not turn this into a gender thing. We got the money from our husband.
Okay. And we're very grateful. Thank you very much. Now, secondly, about how we started selling the product, I remember my first sale was on Facebook. I was among the first people to start online marketing. I created a Facebook page. If you check on we have a page, Samara Bedding and Interiors. And by that time, so many people had not embraced online marketing. But I would go there, and by that time they had started this sponsorship where you sponsor an advert, you pay some money, and the adverts keep running on random pages. I remember the first post we put, I put $10, and from that $10, I was able to get like 20 clients. For the first 2 years of our business, we never had a shop. Yeah. We used to do online marketing. Remember, we used to have a fielder, and would
UAS.
UAS, yes. We used to fill the car until you don't have even where to sit. Like by the time we were going to work, 3/4 way, it was full of bedding. So that was our shop. And we used internet, specifically Facebook, to market our products.
Thank you very much. Stella, where does money come from? How do we find our clients that we sell to?
Thank you very much. Like I said, I began with 170,000. There's something I've written in this book through experience. How to start. Yeah. Small amounts have power.
Yes.
Now, whatever we begin to do or we choose to do, it is a destination. And it is your brain, my brain, that has bring the success of your journey. So once you set your mind to do something, please go for it. It's not about the money. First of all, you need the knowledge on what you want to do. And begin with that little money. The way I started, I did not go for big monies or get a loan, but it is this little money that I had. I started that small business, and whatever I would get, I would put it back. I would not use it. I only took away the tithe and offering. Now, with business, you don't separate God with your business if you are an Adventist.
Good point.
Okay?
Yes.
So many times we fail because we do not, maybe we forget and focus on this, that this is my business. All you have to do is about business, my business, okay?
Yeah.
So we will not separate the two entities. Now, when you get that small money, invest it. You get definitely the profit. Invest it back. Do not use it until you see that you're getting something out of it. I saw it growing. When I was starting to work, I had a small place.
So
And
still, I might have missed that. Where did your first money come from?
my first money was part of the money that my boss had paid me.
Okay.
Yes.
So the point I want us to pick from here is where people are here struggling. Do I have capital?
Okay.
Do I have capital? I can see there is a capital, domestic capital. I'm seeing capital from your salary. In your case, like your termination package. That is money that you used. Your severance package, and you used that, and you grew that money. You did not eat it when you earned, but you helped it to grow. Yes. How about the customers?
The customers, maybe to add on that, when you want to get capital, you can also get it like through employment. You can get something, but you have a mind that I'm going to start up something. Now the clients, I used to talk about it by then, and I would share with friends. Friends supported me, by the way. And even the location, I'm very mindful of the location when I started working.
Yes.
I don't usually like back things because I'm going to pay very little money, so I have to pay 50, where I would have paid 100 in order to get a good client.
Yeah.
So the location is also very important to add on your capital. Do not get worried. As long as your mind is set, you'll be a successful person.
Thanks so much, Stella. I've noted two, actually three. Of course, the one for the capital where you got it from. But the other point that I noted, which is critical, and we should all go away with it, is that we should not separate God from the business that we're doing. In your case, your business started giving tithe from the word go. I pray that we all give tithe from our businesses, but even from any earnings that we have. The second point is location. Location, people tell us location, location, location. If you're going to sell items, people need to see them, people need to be able to access them. And so that's how you access to your market. Jamie, the year was which one, 2009 or when the business is starting?
2008.
8.
Yes.
Where does money come from?
At the very beginning or
Yes,
now?
from the beginning.
Like I mentioned, part of my salary, but it was also from my husband, so that was domestic.
Husband Zoe.
Yes.
Yes, so capital, in your case, savings from your salary, domestic capital from the family. Very soon you'll be telling us it was family resources that we brought together. But thank you for saying yes, it was your husband who contributed towards this. So you grew that money, but how did you get clients? How did you identify them? How did you market your business to make sure that you're actually selling whatever it is that you started out with?
Like it was organic growth. I started with family and friends.
Yeah.
Then actually we moved knowing very well that this business at one time, because there was a need, needed huge capital. So we saved, like my colleagues has done. We employed, after like 3-4 months, when customers started coming, we employed an accountant who was part-time, who used to come and count the books. Because something to do with air ticket, you see you have money, someone has bought a flight of 3,000,
Yes.
and you think it is your money. It is not your money. That is, we sell on behalf of the airline. What
Yes.
you have there is a very small figure.
Yeah.
So you need to put in mind that what you have is that what we call a service fee. So for you to have, you can have millions of money at the bank, but when actually you have peanuts for the company.
Yes.
So that is how we grew organically, knowing very well that it's not our money, we sell on behalf of the airlines. And our nature of business is you have to remit this money to the airline on the 15th day and on the 30th day. So whatever you sell in 2 weeks has to be remitted on the 15th day and on the 30th. So you have to put in mind that it's not your money, so you don't touch it. What I've seen in the travel industry, actually, men don't do very well, because when they look at that huge amount of money at the bank, they think it is money to use. So ladies have done so well in the travel industry because we are so many. We fear certain risks.
Yeah.
Because the moment you use that money, first of all, they take away your license,
Yeah.
and actually they take away. So where we have reached now, it's not, we cannot afford, because the company has grown over 14 years.
Yeah.
So right now we are using what we call bank guarantee.
Yes.
So the bank now is the one in the middle of our business. So, and this is more risky. You didn't ask me this, Elder, did you?
It's coming, but you can
So
talk
I
about
first
it. Yes.
stop it.
No, go on. We've run out of time, so talk about it as much as you can, because I may not bring that question for people to ask, so talk about it.
Okay, when business grows, when you have really done your best, grown so well, it becomes very expensive. You cannot afford to put money in the business. Let me just give you like a simple example. We ticket government. We came from individuals now to do corporate and government.
Yeah.
A minister will tell you, give me a ticket, I'm going to America. And a minister does not travel business class, economy class. They travel first class. A ticket is like $10,000, which is
Our
37
money,
million.
our money.
Our money, yes. And you know, you can $10,000, 37, just one, and the minister will go with a PS, a PP, and an assistants and judges, depending on what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So on one business like this, you're spending about $100,000.
Yeah.
So that is too big for a company to handle. So we go to the bank.
Yes.
Now we work with the bank.
Yeah.
So for you to work with the bank, how do you manage $100,000 for just maybe Minister of Finance? Yet there's also Minister of Internal Affairs. There is also Parliament. So you find that your capital is so huge that you as a company cannot, so the bank has to intervene. But also for the bank to intervene, you ought to have property that you surrender to the bank worth the amount of money
That you're asking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, you find the house has gone, the farm has gone, the cars have gone, and you're on the street. So there's a lot of discipline in that kind of business. But growth comes with time. It teaches you discipline, and eventually you learn how to move with it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Discipline seems to be a very critical issue. I know you mentioned, by the way, all these women, their husbands are my friends. You mentioned that men lack discipline, but your husband is my friend, and I know he has discipline. So yes, and consistency. You know, you have self-sacrifice, discipline, and consistency. Yeah, so thank you very much, Jamie. Naalongo, how do you sell what you sell? How did you start selling? And how did you find money that eventually turned into a business?
My first business, the daycare, I had some exit money that I started with. But of course, it couldn't run for the 10 years that I was in business, and better still, start a new one.
Yeah.
So credit goes to Sir Longo. He has
Oh, yeah.
done great. He's so amazing towards that. And
Even me, I get from him, by the way. So
he has been so supportive.
yes.
Not to sound so spiritual, but in the Bible, God told Moses, what do you have?
What are you holding?
It was a stick, but it worked miracles.
Yeah.
Then when you look at the disciples, when the multitude didn't have what to eat, Jesus asked them, what do you have? 5 yes. And it fed multitudes. So I'm here to speak to that one person who does not have 10,000 every day in their pocket, because the economy is so demanding. It is very tough. So someone needs 1,000, needs 5,000, needs 10,000. And this is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
My passion for cutting, for craft, has made me start small. I make hair bands. A hair band goes for 5,000. Yeah. I make key rings, just cutting out something, you put a ring and you sell it for 5,000. Yeah. You will not have to ask someone for 10,000 if you make 10 key rings. And people, it is possible. If you know you do not have the money, it is possible. Don't look for 100,000, don't look for millions, because in this era, you may not get the chance to get the million. And besides, if the million drops in your pocket today, there are a lot of demands for it. You have house rent, you have gorillas for the children. I mean, you have quite a lot that will take the million. So start small, start with the little you have, and you will grow into Jemima and do better business.
Amen.
Where do I sell?
Uh-huh.
I come from a very big family, very big. I'm the 32nd in my family.
What?
And it's not that they all buy from me.
Yeah.
The 11 who buy from me can give me the 50,000.
Yeah.
We have church family.
Yeah.
When you look around KCC, everyone, most of the children carry this for their Bibles.
Yes, it's our uniform.
Yes. I mean, you have Katale everywhere, because everyone likes the cookie you have, everyone likes the hairband you have, everyone likes whatever you have. As long as you have, as long as it's good, they'll buy it. So start.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me that we have been very blessed to have these 4 women, but time has not done us justice. I wonder, Elder Paul, whether you will be willing to be corrupted and give us 10 minutes for the audience to ask questions. 5 or 10? 10. Yeah, if you didn't give us 10, you would not eat supper. So we have 10 minutes for questions. Please go straight to your question. Ask your question. We'll take several at a time, and then we'll get answers. Somebody please take a mic around so people can ask questions. Where's the mic? Where's the mic? Let's pass. Okay. Here's a mobile mic. Take this around. There's somebody right over there at the edge. The gentleman over there. Please keep your hand up. Not everybody is going to ask. It is only those that I'll select that will ask. So for you spoke in the morning. So I'm going to ask somebody else to ask. I saw you. You gave a testimony, not in the morning. But there's a lady there. Please ask your question. Take a mic to the lady behind there. She'll be next. Oh, Joy, ask if you're ready. Young Sebo, come here and ask your question. Use my mic.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Riho Joseph. I am really thankful for the opportunity to have these people on the panel. So my question is, we have a lot of young people, usually from maybe you're at campus or from the secondary schools, and you have these ideas, and we know right now the world is being driven by innovation.
The question.
The question is, if you have an innovative idea and you want some investment, how do you go about that?
Okay, if you have an innovative idea, you want investment, how do you go about it? Capital. Joy.
Thank you so much, ladies. As far as I understand, business in Uganda is now so hard because of what I see. People are running out of business. People are moving out of business every day and every now and then. How are you managing to break through? With the high taxes, with the high rent, how are you managing to break through?
Business is very high. How are you managing? Please write down the questions. You'll each give a take. There's a lady at the back there. Please pass her the mic. And also tell us about taxes. Tell us if you're paying taxes. And if you're not, please be careful what you say, because there are some people here from revenue.
Elder, I want to be clear on this.
Yes.
She talked about location. I'm one person who works from home, but
Yes.
I do a variety of businesses.
Yeah.
It is very possible I get orders. If at all you've advertised, you can work from home, however deeper it might be. I work from home and get orders that are very, very huge.
Okay.
And if I drive what I do to these customers of mine, so it's okay to work from home.
Okay, thank you. I think it is the same with Nalongo also. She works from home, but sources her customers from her networks and from advertising. Okay, a question over there.
I'll start with what Nalongo spoke about last. We are advised as Seventh-day Adventists every time in church to do business with our fellow brothers and sisters. Just as we even have the exhibition that is going to happen. So with my experience, the hardest clients to work with are family and friends because of the bias and very many things. So as a Seventh-day Adventist businesswoman, how do you handle such a thing?
Okay, the question is how to work with clients with whom you have, an emotional relationship. Family, friends, churchmates. We have time for 2 more questions.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Chambadi Pius David. To the panel, that is to Mrs. Walugembe Jamie, I wanted to know what is a career, and normally it was really interesting. What is a career? How best could I build a career? And to everyone on the panel, to someone in this place, someone in this room who has been the audience to whatever you're saying, and what could be the best, that one word, that simple kind of word that could motivate them, that kind of, a single word to someone here who has dreams, that dream of being entrepreneur, that dream of being somewhere, that dream of achieving. Thank you very much.
Okay, the last question.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Gashon Kamgasha. My question is, yes, I understand all of you started the businesses when you are quite old. So what advice would you give to someone? What advice would you give to someone, let's say someone living with their parents or someone studying but has a business idea that they want to chase, but the parents want you this side and all that. How do you how do you advise someone to go about that?
Okay, thank you, Kamgasha. Do we have one last question, or shall we take this? Over here. Okay.
For me, my question, I have two questions. One person told me that no one can lie you that is successful with one business. Every successful one has another businesses. And another one told me that now you are still young. You first correct testimony. Is it true?
First correct a testimony. You've had 4 here, so go and start business. So members, we have about 4 questions. One was about capital over there. The other one was from Joy asking about how do you manage to continue. It's a question about resilience, really. In the current economy, how are you managing to go through? And there was a question from the gentleman over there about dealing with relationships in business, including if somebody can talk about hiring relatives, I would like to hear from that. There was one for you, Jamie, specifically about career. And then finally, from Kamgasha on how to start in the context of being at the parents' home. These will be our questions today, and we shall wind it up after these questions. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all, and I would like to volunteer on your behalf to say that you are available for additional questions. Yes, I know these women quite well. They are good women, and they'll volunteer additional help beyond this panel to ask more questions. So please, let's address these questions in any order. If you feel you want to answer, please go on. Get the mic and answer. Use tellers.
I'm answering the one which was directly addressed to me about the career guidance in my profession. Right now, for someone who wants to do airline and ticketing, we have all our universities, most of our universities have a course called tourism. So under tourism in the universities, you find course units like ticketing, hotel reservations, marketing. And so when you qualify, you either come in the airline to do ticketing, or you go to we have now bodies like Uganda Wildlife Authority, you have Uganda Tourism Board, we have the Association of the Uganda Tour Operators. So once you work, you have taken a course in tourism at Makerere or any other university, you'll be able to do the work that I do. Alternatively, there's a specific course which is called ticketing. It is done by Career Institute. It's called Career Institute. They are only doing a ticketing course under the Air Association, International Air Transport Association, which is IATA in short. And IATA is an international body that governs airlines, that governs air transport, that governs airports. So it's specific. If someone wants to do only ticketing, to work in an airline without necessarily going into tourism, can also do it at the Career Institute. At least it's one of the recognized institutes that you take on a diploma course and you are able to work as a ticketing officer. He also asked of how to motivate. Normally when you qualify as in tourism with a degree or diploma, people normally come to the travel agents and to the airlines for an internship program. So once you do better, because in the office where I work, most people whom we have employed have come in as interns, but when they do better, we retain them. And we also offer those who can just come and have the intern at our office, and they go afterwards. We have had them. So I think of... and about taxes...
taxes, the taxman.
Yes, the taxman. My husband worked with
was
URA.
A tax collector.
Was a tax collector.
Yes.
So there's no way you can evade tax when you've had a tax collector in a home and who is a church elder. So you have to pay tax for the church tax, which is tithe, because it's not our money. You have to remit, the company has to remit, individuals have to remit. What we do for us to avoid issues, the accountant takes off when the payroll is out. You don't bargain. Church goes directly on the account. What we have as our names and Mt.Olives, the money just goes direct. You don't bargain about it. And also the company, no tricks about it. URA, you have to remit the money. Else, for us now at our level, you cannot do any bids when you don't have what we call tax clearance certificates. So the tax issue, I think it also answered on our side.
Thank you
so much.
Stella, please.
I'll speak about this, this one of one gentleman there, that no man has been successful with one business, partly yes and partly no. As a business person, through experience, I realized that it is very hard to do more than one business or two because of the nature of how we have been brought up. I think Ugandans and Kenyans are different people when it comes to business. Probably in Kenya it might be easy, but not in Uganda.
But you would know what is happening in Kenya, no? Since,
yes, I know partly. Yeah, because you can't manage 2, 3 businesses when you're not there. Maybe you can find a way of doing it. One, by investing. You can invest. There are businesses that you can run without your presence. But as you start, when you have small businesses, it's good to focus on one, because you'll be able to monitor and to keep your records and to understand what goes about your business. Or you can use one place for 2 or 3 businesses. I've tried it and I think it's okay. And with also the CCTV, the cameras, they can help, and your presence definitely. And I will also talk about how to run business with maybe how we can manage where there's biasness and everything with family, friends, church family. Yes, these are the challenges. When we talk about business, because of time we have not gone into deep, but there are many challenges. But still, that will not stop you as long as you want to do your business. But maybe a simple request or advice, let us support one another. Now, I'll give an example I've been thinking about always. We Adventists know that we have to do our weddings, not so. Before you get into marriage, not so. So throughout the year, now I'll talk on my business, that we do cards and everything. Before you think of someone out there, why don't you think about an Adventist in order to support this person, yeah? Because this is the same person who is going to support your wedding, not so. But several times we are so biased, and we do work outside there, but we bring the pledges to us, not so. So it is very discouraging. Maybe today let us talk about that. If you know that there's someone who has a tour company, they have cars, go out to them. Personally, I did that when I was planning for my wedding, and it was successful. And I was happy because I blessed my what? My church family. When we look at the Israelites, those people are so rich, not so, but they do not take money outside. So I pray that we can work together and we can grow. Another thing, if you have wisdom, if you have knowledge, look out, teach, don't discourage. I have a testimony. I've taught people with no single coin, and they're doing well. Yes. If you have gotten something, reach out to someone else, because we need that tithe and the offering. Yes. So we can do the constructions, not so. Yes. Yes, do not hide wisdom. Even the Bible discourages that. Give out the wisdom, because no one has been born with this wisdom, not so. Yes. We read, we are taught.
Yeah. Thank you, Stella. Beryl. I know Beryl and Naalya, we are going to be on pressure to finish in the 10 minutes that Elder Paul gave us. But please make your points. Naalya Jakuoza.
Okay, Sister Joy asked about how we've managed to stay in business. Number one, you need to plan for rainy days. They happen so much in business, and there are times when you can't even make the rent that you're supposed to pay. Even the business cannot make enough money to pay the employees. So you need to plan, and you need to know that those days are always there, and they always come to pass. Then taxman, in whatever you do when you join business, you should know that the taxman is always at the door, knocking every day, be it VAT, income tax, license and everything. You just have to be ready to pay the taxes, because the more you dodge them, the more you create problems for yourself that may lead to closure of your business. Then there's someone who asked about family, friends, and business. I can assure you that most, I don't know, for her, she said that family supported her. But if you start a business hoping that your family and friends will support you, trust me, you will be shocked. Most of the time, our friends and family want to associate with us and associate with our businesses when we are somewhere, not when we are starting. You know, when you see someone coming with Vinyebo following, you're like, oh, she's here coming, I don't want to buy. That attitude is there. But what I can tell you is that the market is wide. It doesn't have to be your friend. It doesn't have to be your family. God will send a stranger, and that stranger will support and will help sustain your business. I think...
We'll all have one last word, and
Okay.
it will be a word.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There is a gentleman there who talked about innovation, how to support innovative ideas. And yes, and in my case, I also have innovative ideas, but my prototype will be a cheap one. If I'm supposed to come up with a bag, I'll use paper to make my prototype, then probably share it with Uncle Sam, and he can support me if it is good enough to take to the market. So start small with what you have. If you have a big innovation, scale it down so that someone can associate with it and then help you out. But otherwise, if you get to Sam and tell him, I want 20 million to start up, I want to start to make a car, he will not, because he will look at that huge figure and he will not know where to start from. So start small. And about friends and family, employ Omuchuba to sell to the friends and family. I personally cannot sell to people here, but Sarah does it for me.
Oh, Sarah is like a... Okay.
Then about taxes, the moment you start a business and put out a signpost, you will attract people, municipal council, whatever. In my case, I pay trading license because I think Bubu at my level, buy Uganda, build Uganda, stops at trading license.
The volume of business.
Yes.
Yes.
And the last one is about parents encouraging children to run their passion. Yeah. I graduated in BBA Business Computing. Okay, I use computer for my designs, but of course I would learn it if I grew up and started doing my cutting and putting pieces together. What am I saying? Parents, encourage your children to do their passion because you do not know where they'll end up. And besides, the passion will always override. So as they are doing school during the holidays, let them do something they love to do and encourage them. Mr. Kamgasha, encourage that young man to do what he wants as he does school as well. And my last one, I think I should say my word.
Yeah, please go on.
My last word is tomorrow we have a practical session. We shall be making shoes, sandals, hairbands, and cushion covers.
Okay.
If you can, look out for it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Irene, and for your last word. Beryl, your last word.
My closing remarks, first of all, is to thank my clients who are seated here. I can see quite a number of them, Mabel being one of them. I'm very grateful, and thank you for always supporting us. And number two, for those who want to start business, it's never easy, it's doable, and at the end of the day, it is worth it. Finally, we have an exhibition. And this is one of the platforms that will enable you sell your business, sell whatever you're doing. It's Buy Adventist, Build Adventist. It will be on 28th August at Chambogo grounds. And I think all of us are invited. It is for the English churches. Bunga is also part of us. Then Kampala Central Church, East Kampala, and Mt.Olives. We're looking forward to seeing you there. For those who want to exhibit, please see me or Elder Walugembe or the representatives from your different churches. May God bless you.
Thank you. Stella?
I'd like to thank Jamie. Part of my capital, you supported, and you grew, I grew. So I still need you, my dear. Beryl, I thank you very much. She's still my client. She has supported me. Whenever she does her work, she reaches out to me. I'm so grateful. And please come, those who have not yet visited us, please come. We are good people. We love seeing our church family grow. Let us support one another. I have a flyer here. There are some skills that we are training people in business skills. These are our flyers. We are going to give them out. Please come, do not fear, and you'll be there. I have also a book which I've sold at 50,000 for my CEOs, but I'll give it to you at 6,000. Knowledge is power. There's a lot that we have not touched. Please come and have this book, and you'll not regret. May God bless you.
Thank you. So, Campmeeting committee, please remember to tax that 6,000. Yes, Jamie, your last word.
Yes, thank you so much. Team Church, you're so supportive.
Yes.
You've supported our businesses when we are beginning. When everyone is starting a business, the first thing, if you're Seventh-day Adventist, we think of church. So we are proud to be Adventist.
Amen.
We are proud and we are happy that church has supported our businesses. So
Amen.
Come, please. You will be supported. We will support you. On behalf of Sight Travel, I know I have some people around here. Sight Travel is a tour and travel company that is dealing with air ticketing, wherever you want to go. We have now holiday. Time for Christmas has come. Come, we take you everywhere in the world. The world is open, and our tagline is, the world is yours. So the world is yours. Come, we take you there. We have vehicle hires. With your support, we have managed to we have a fleet of over 50 cars, ranging all types of cars we have. Please come and get a car. I thank my people who have supported Sight Travel. And please come for insurance if you want to travel. We have insurance, which we call travel insurance. When you go out there, it is less than $50, but you can pay billions and millions of money if you fall sick when you have traveled. Correct. So please come for safaris. I know most of us don't know Uganda. Come, we take you to Kalangala. Come, we take you to see gorillas. We will exhibit on the 28th, like Beryl has announced. So come at the ground. We'll be there. Those who want career guidance, I will be there to assist you. Please, we are here to assist you. The world is yours. Sight Travel is yours. Thank you so much, team.
Thank you very much, ladies. Let's give them a hand clap. I know per program it is sports time, so I want to thank you, everybody, for staying here and listening in and benefiting from this program. Before I hand it over to the elder on duty, I'm going to invite us to humble ourselves and pray, and then Elder Paul will come and crown it. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this time that you've given us to hear from these ladies who have done so well and have done us proud. We want to thank you for what we've heard, what we've learned. We ask, oh God, that you may bless them in their businesses, that they may also be a blessing to us and to your church. We ask that you may bless everybody who is seated here in this congregation, that, Father, as we go about our duties in this life, that you may help us to be diligent, to be passionate about what we do, to be consistent, to be forward-looking, to be hardworking, and, Father, that we may draw blessing from you and that we may praise you and glorify you in all that we do. Continue to be with us in this Campmeeting for the glory of your name, for in Jesus' name we prayed. Amen.